All right, we live, brother. All right, greetings, everybody. I
What up? What
am,
up? What up? What up?
I am awkward beginning, and this is my partner, Big Leaf, with Real to Real Radio together.
Real on Real Radio.
Real on Real Radio together. We are awkward real. You know what I'm saying? Or real awkward, one or the other, however you want to say it. But the reason, the reason we are coming on today is we seen we seen the we seen the top one. We seen the top 100 West Coast artists list that who put that out? Com
You said what?
who put that list out? It
I
was
think Complex put out the first list.
all right, yeah, complex put out the first list, but they said that the second list was put out by like some artists, like some college students. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Like some college students picked the second list out. But
Right.
what we gonna do is we're gonna go over the what's it called? Con who
Complex.
all right, we're gonna go over the complex list because obviously they don't know what the hell they talking about, man. And we are West Coast, you know what I'm saying? Like riding in the Cadillac, actually putting hours behind the wheel, bumping this West Coast shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So
Years spent on it. Years spent.
years,
Much time.
yeah, years, hours behind the wheel, bumping this shit. So we know what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, what part of the list that kind of bugged you, man? That kind of rubbed you the wrong way. I had a couple of parts of the list that bugged me the wrong way.
Right. I'll say um the first mess up, man. I mean the whole list was messed up, but the first upset to me was Pop.
Right. I
I
thought
think that was
I
the
thought
first.
I thought having Kendrick at number one kind of pissed me off. I really didn't mind Pac being number one. I mean, when you're talking about when you're talking about when you're talking about catalog, um, when you're talking about performance wise, when you talk about showmanship, you know what I'm saying? I would give Pac I could give Pac number one, but we're talking about artists that were born in California, you know what I'm saying, that that actually was born here, here in California, you know what I'm saying, or born here on the West Coast.
Man. Well, if we get into the semantics of that, man, we're gonna have a problem with a lot of artists,
All
even
right.
even on the West Coast. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of artists that weren't born on the West Coast.
Right.
For example, you
All
know,
right.
I mean, we keep on going down the list, man, but I think that Pac definitely represented the West Coast.
Right. 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 So all right. So I say we pit. We're not gonna do like the whole 100. I say we should do like top 15 artists and our reasons why. You know what I'm saying? The top 15 artists that were born on the West, and then we'll say the top 15 artists that were migrated here to the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? With your Daz's, with your Tupac's, with your all of the artists that wasn't born exhibits. You know what I mean? Because we kind of got a we both kind of share the same idea that um, some of these artists wasn't born on the West Coast. They shouldn't be on certain lists. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is, I beg to differ on that. Um, because you represent what you represent, and the membership is broad for the West Coast as far as artists go, right?
Right.
So we shouldn't get into that, man. Um,
I got it. I get it.
just because the representation, man.
I
You know
get
what I
it.
mean? If we do that, then it's like we're gonna be it creates a bias. You see what I'm
All right.
saying? we gotta state the obvious, man. Pac
All right.
represented the West Coast. That West Coast East Coast beef was over Pac, over Death Row, right? And he was
Right.
at the forefront of it. We
Right.
can't excuse that because there's been a couple cats in recent times that was trying to excuse the East Coast West Coast beef,
But
and we ain't got to mention their names, but there was a couple cats, particularly.
But does that beef put him in the forefront of West Coast artists though?
No, but it puts him on the forefront of, when Death Row really got their shine, when they really went to that higher level, that was a contributing factor, was Pac. That was a big thing when Suge signed Pac fresh out of prison, while he was still in prison on the East Coast. When he signed him as a West Coast artist.
True. And then before he got locked up, I believe he was making like more West Coast induced type music too. With that,
he had Thug Life Volume 1.
Me Against the World too.
Yeah, right. And Me Against the World, man. Who was banging that on Magnolia?
Yeah. Ooh,
up in Hook's crib. Hook loved that CD, man. Hook bang that every day, man.
Right. Rest in peace, Hook, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, rest easy, Hook. Because check this out. Check this out. Hook, he played it more than we played it. Think about that. We heard that coming up from upstairs from Hook's crib every day, homie. You know what I'm saying?
Real talk,
and we never say, Pac came from the West. Nah, we embraced him.
Right. And there's songs on that CD, nigga. There's songs on that CD that'll make you shed a tear, bro. If you drinking and you smoking,
right.
There's songs on that CD that'll make you shed a tear, nigga. Like especially like the Dear Mama, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nigga, that shit'll make you shed a tear, bro.
And the reason why we shouldn't get into that, because there's so many cats nowadays since Pac that have came to the West Coast for some type of because he wasn't the only one that did it.
Right.
He was the only one that done it. You got Soulja Boy, you got Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, right.
Now quiet as kept, the dog went to the South for refuge.
Right. You right about that. You
right
about
went
that.
to No Limit. He lived down there. He was down in the South.
But that don't make him a Southern. That don't make him a Southern artist.
No, because he didn't stay there. He didn't stay there. He came back west.
Right.
But at some point in time, the dog had left the West. And he still represented the West, but he left the West. If he would have stayed in the South, he probably wouldn't have been as strong of an influence for the West as he is now. Style probably would have been changed.
I ain't gonna. Hey, you ain't said one lie yet, bro. But
so let's go with that. Let's go with that 10, that quick 10 we put together, man, earlier, man.
All right, and we're gonna try to discuss why and why we chose that. You say 10.
The 10 we put together earlier. That quick 10 we put together earlier.
Okay. All right. So. All right, this is what I got to say, and you can disagree or agree with me. I believe as far as organized gangster rap, it started with NWA. Some people would disagree with that. Some people would say Ice-T, and some other people possibly before that, like Quick with the banging on wax stuff. But I believe that as far as organized West Coast gangster rap, it started with
NWA.
It started with NWA. And if you have to say NWA, you gotta say Eazy-E for number one.
Right.
So do you agree with that or disagree with that?
I would agree with that just because I know that if I shift who I would think will be one, which is Pac, I'll give Eazy-E 1 and give Pac 2. If we gotta give Eazy 1, we gotta give Pac number 2.
Right. Well, all right. I'm glad you said that. All right, so we're saying NWA for number one. Are we going? We're going to go. All right. So this is clear. We're going with Eazy-E for number one. Is that clear?
Um, I say nah.
No.
That's nah. I'm pretty certain that I will put Pac as one and Easy as two.
All right. All right. I could agree with that, but how are you determining that?
We'll determine out for this. Pac's music is still relevant in today's time. You still hear Tupac's music on the radio in today's time. You hear very little of Eazy-E songs, only through samples like Metro Boomin and Future and
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick, right?
Okay.
That
Okay.
was that when they remade that song to take Drake out the game.
Mm-hmm.
That was an Eazy Ronnie O. Joe Cooley remix. Now, or sample. Now the thing is this. That was the last time. That was the first time in a long time that we heard Eazy-E on the radio like that. Any body of work
Mm-hmm.
that was Eazy's body of work, as far as his song. Eazy didn't have a lot of songs.
Yeah.
However, his movement still transfused through Ruthless, through
Mm-hmm.
Bone Thugs and Harmony, stuff like that. So I'll say that I think Tupac's body of work was stronger, a lot stronger than the body of work that Eazy done.
All right. Okay.
And that's why we'll put Pac over Eazy. And I hear what you're saying. He's a forefather of NWA.
Right.
However, it's safe to say that Pac is a forefather of Death Row.
Okay. Now I'm glad you said that. Right. Now, who were the four who were the people that discovered Death Row? Not just, now we're not talking about Suge. Who was the people that discovered Death Row or that pushed Death Row? You know what I'm saying?
We first heard about Death Row with the Chronic,
Okay. Now
right?
you say Chronic meaning Dr. Dre. Now
Dr.
there
Dre.
there, there would be no Dr. Dre if there was no Easy E. Am I
That's
right or am I
true. You
wrong?
got me. You got me on that. You got me on that one. So we're gonna say this. With you saying that, that's a strong piece, right? That's a strong move. I'll say Easy at one and Pac at two, just for that. Just for
Okay.
that.
Now this is gonna
Easy,
be hard.
he birthed that.
All right. Now this is where it get tough. The top five, the first five, right? Because now we say Easy E, right? Now
Right.
who all fell off the Easy E tree? Doc, Ice Cube. Ice Cube was the writer
Ice
over there,
Cube.
right?
Right.
Dr. Dre, Ren, Yella. Then you got other people like Exhibit. You got Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So no, I'm thinking like um. All right. So who do we got as one? We got what? We got Easy as one.
You got Easy as one.
All right. Let me find a pen so I can write this down.
We had the list earlier, man. So let's go on the list we had earlier because it was the reason why we put that 10 together earlier.
Yeah,
I believe I
you
sent it
sent
to
it to
you.
me. Yeah.
I believe it was Easy as one, Pac is two,
All right, hold on.
Cube is
I want to write this down. Hold on. Damn, I got an ink pen around here somewhere. All right. All right. You said Easy as one, right?
right.
Damn, where the fuck is that good pen at?
Y'all know which phone you on, but you have it in the text.
Yeah, I
You
do,
have the
but
10.
yeah, but I'm using this phone because I got the live running through there. Hold on.
Right.
All right. So you said Easy at one.
Right.
All right, Easy at one. Then who do we have at two?
Pac.
All right, we'll say Pac at two. Okay, two. All right, so who? This is where it get kind of tough at. Who we gonna go? Who we gonna go with 3?
We already had the 10, and I got it. I got it in my membrane, so I'm gonna just
I,
spit it
I
off for
know,
you.
I know. I just want to discuss each reason for each person. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
all right, we
Just
ain't
for
gonna
kind of
shift it.
different
So we go
context.
pockets 2. We explain
Uh-huh.
Pac. 3
Okay.
will be Q. 3 will be Q.
All right, we're gonna go Q because this is the reason I say why, because he did a lot of writing for Easy, and he kind of went off his own way, and he made what a lot of people would say was probably the coldest diss song on the West Coast, and he battled NWA by himself with that one diss song.
And
It
he
kind
had
of
the and he had the best put together albums in that time in the early 90s. Death
right.
Certificate. You know,
America,
that was
America,
well.
America's Most Wanted also.
Right.
Kill at Will. Shit, he had some good shit, man.
He had some well put together work, right? And so
Right.
I'll say Q for the body of work.
All
His
right. So we
presence
did.
was strong from the early 90s to the mid 90s. Cube had a strong
Mhm.
presence. And a lot of people was along for the ride with him. Short Shot,
Short shot. Yep.
right? And
Um,
there's a couple other more groups.
Caution.
Comrades, Caution.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Mac
and they had some
Mac
heat.
10.
Mac
Mac
10,
10.
and not to mention the Chicken Hawk. So look, Mac
Ooh.
10. Now you know Mac 10's on the top 10 list. We're
Yeah,
gonna
for
get to
sure.
him,
We're gonna get to
but
him for sure.
Mac 10 contributed. He contributed. A
Yeah,
lot of things came from Mac 10.
because he turned into a CEO. You know what I'm saying?
Who Banger Records. So he
Yep.
made the top 10 list. That's one thing about it. I don't know about everybody else's list, but I don't think I heard the Chicken Hawk on there. But you got to give it to Mac 10
Yeah,
because
he was
him and
way.
Q carried.
He was like on the way on the bottom of the list, man. But I don't
Well, they
see.
carried a part of the West when the West was almost out. When
Right.
him and
Right.
Cube came together and joined forces, it did something to the West Coast at that point in time, and it gave us a little bit more run for a little bit more time before the South came and took it. So I say Cube number 3 for the body of work and for what he's
Mhm.
contributed from NWA to other acts that came about through Cube. They were strong acts. Yeah, that's the thing about Cube. You got Dub C, strong act.
Oh yes, I almost forgot about Dub C.
Right.
Oh man.
Right. Now,
Um,
I don't know CJ Mack. Him and Cube
CJ
was
Mac
together, I
too.
guess, in the Mad Circle, right?
Yeah.
But strong artists came through Cube.
Right.
If you was on
Right.
the track with Cube, you had some heat. Cube
You had,
didn't
and
have no, he didn't
you
have
had
no
to.
rinky dinks on there.
If you came on there with Cube, you had to come with it too. You had to come with it.
Right. Cube didn't have no chumps on albums with him, bro. He didn't have nothing mediocre on the albums with him, man. Actually, he had high skill set artists collabing with him.
Right.
You know what I mean? That like if they wasn't on the song with Cube, you could still listen to their music and play their whole album.
For sure. For sure.
You know what I mean?
I definitely
You know,
agree with you.
we bang that short shot, Mr. Short Shot, front and back. I mean,
Yes.
man,
Yes.
it was upset that we didn't
Hey,
get more work from him.
we might have spent 2 summers, nigga, bumping that show chop, nigga, while we was making
Right,
moves, nigga. For sure.
right,
For
right.
sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he had that motivational West music. So I
It kind
say,
of made
it,
it kind of made me mad how he put out one album, I think, and just disappeared, man.
right. So now we'll say Dre for number 4.
Dre, okay. All right.
Right.
Let's say Dre number 4.
And then Snoop for number 5.
Hold
It
on.
got shifted. I think if you look at that list, I think we had Easy 1, Cube 2, Pac 2, Cube 3, Dre 4.
Uh-huh.
Nah. I think we had Snoop at 4. We had Dr. Dre at 5. We had
Hold
we
on.
had Short at 6.
We can't throw Snoop before Dre. Dre discovered Snoop. He the one that discovered Snoop, bro. Maybe after Dre.
Yeah, but you know what? This is where it gets tricky at.
Mhm.
Snoop was really the face of Chronic. He was really the face of Chronic, and
Yeah,
he gave us doggy style, and he gave us
yeah,
doggy style.
yeah. But
So I
who did all the production on the Chronic? Who made the sound for the Chronic?
see that's what me and you. Even though I'm a producer, I'm an artist too. Your voice is an instrument too. So what instrument is stronger? Is it your production or is it the voice?
Think
Which one
about
is
it.
stronger?
If
Which
you
one
if
is stronger?
just think if somebody else would have produced Snoop, we wouldn't have never had that movement. Those beats and those samples, man, that made the soundtrack for gangster rap for that year, bro. Like it was had to been the production. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Snoop, he was rapping his ass off on there. But Dre, nigga, remember Dre, and then Dre also came out with his the Chronic
Yeah,
album
but the
too.
creativity that Snoop probably brought to it, the songs in itself, it pushed Dre to a different level, man. To where Dre even had to go out and do his beats a little different to
Hmm.
compensate the level of artistry Snoop was coming with. He
Hmm.
couldn't come with no small sound for Snoop. He had to go big with the sound. So
Right,
he dug into them crates. Joe
and hit,
Croker, David McCullum, uh, it's some it's some cats he dug. You know, he got his work from, man, to get that big sound that he gave Snoop. So
shoot, we gotta figure it out.
we'll put Dre as 4, man.
All right,
Just because
okay.
he's one of the forefathers of NWA,
Right,
right?
and he's the forefather of the sound. The sound, man, that sound made the West
And then
Coast.
not to mention Death Row, and then not to
Right,
mention Aftermath, Eminem, and 50. So we'll give
right.
him 4. The body of work, he got a strong body of work from the early from the actually the late 80s to the mid 90s,
So
to
we're
the
gonna
late
go.
90s actually.
So we're gonna go with number 5 with Snoop.
With Snoop on number 5.
All right, I agree. I agree with that. All right, this is where it get crazy at right here. So who do we go with number 16?
Nah, mm-mm. We got to shift that player. We got to back, man.
All
We got
right,
to back, man. We got to give Snoop for number 4, man. And I'm gonna tell you
over,
why.
over
I'm
Drake.
hold on. I'm gonna tell you why. Think about this. At some point in time, they was talking about revamping NWA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know they didn't have Easy around to do it. Guess who they was gonna have replace Easy?
Snoop.
Snoop. Snoop's number 4, man. We got to give it to the dog. Dog's still active right now. Dre's not. Dre's just now becoming to be active again after the detox didn't come through and drop. That was
Mm-hmm.
upset. Snoop kept going through all of that, man. All them trials and tribulations. He didn't just stop with Dr. Dre. So I give Snoop 4, man, and Dre 5.
All right, hold on. Let me change my. I gotta change my list in. All right.
We
So you
had to,
say
bro. We had to, man.
all
Well, I
right,
hear what you're
Snoop.
saying, bro. But Snoop's his stance, his sprint has been strong. You know, if we run in the marathon, man, he ain't stop running.
Okay. All right. So we. All right. So we. All right. So we got Snoop. We got Dre. No, we got Snoop at 4, and we got Dre at 5.
Dre at 5. Dre at 5.
Okay.
That's
I
gonna
I,
shift that
I
original
can.
list that I sent you. Because I'm already seeing now that certain things already shifted. That's cool. That's
All right, bro.
cool.
All
So
right.
you know who gets number 6 then.
All right. Who
Now
get
we
number
back on
6?
track now. We got to give the short dog.
Too short.
Got to. We got to.
All
We
right.
got to. You know, listen, check this out. I was listening to Short Dog, homie, no bullshit, true story. When I was
I
in
can
middle school.
I can
When I
agree
was
with
in
that.
middle school,
I
you
can
know, I was
agree with
11,
that.
12 years old listening to Short Dog, homie. We was putting house speakers in old school whips and banging
Right.
Short Dog. His first seat. So I had to give it to Short Dog, man.
Yep.
You know,
I can agree.
he opened up the Bay. He opened up Northern Cal for Southern Cal, man. I ain't gonna stunt. and it was a blessing too because our ears got to listen to something that was
something
that was
different.
different,
That was something different than the NWA
that was
sound.
different,
That
and it
was
was
different.
original, and it was
Right.
original because he had them strong bass guitar leads in there, riffs. You know what I mean? So I had to say Short Dog, man. I ain't gonna
All right.
stunt, man.
All right. All right. So who you gonna go with? Who we gonna go with for number 7?
E40, man.
40?
He was around too. He was around but 40 when I was 13, 14, invested in the streets. You know what I mean? You dig? It was really real. The
All right.
hustle was real. You know what I
All right.
mean? So we got
Number
to give it to
7,
Charlie Hustle, man.
E40.
Yeah,
E40.
E40 contribute to us, man. You know, he gave us
E40.
in a major way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. What was that album with the triple beam on the cover?
That was was that Federated with Mr. Flamboyant?
Federal, yeah.
Federal, yeah, okay. That was yeah. That was the first one of the first, if not
What,
the first.
what about Ice-T? What about Ice-T for number 8?
Nah,
So you
nah.
so you gonna say Ice-T is like farther down the list? All right, who will come
He
after?
ain't even he ain't even on the top 10. If we would have just had Ice-T, the West Coast would never been made.
Ice-T was actually before NWA though, my nigga.
Yeah, we know that, but I'm saying for us to go from these levels and transition from the
Mhm.
late 80s to the 90s to the mid 90s to the late 90s, Ice-T was not involved with none of that, man. He stayed in the 80s where he was created at.
Yeah, but he was one of the founders, bro. He was like up there when
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I hear you on that, man. But we talking about large bodies of work that really made national noise, commercial noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ice-T did. I
Uh,
mean, if we have like a top 20, he could be on maybe the top 20, but the top 10, nah. Nah.
oh, you talking about
Nah.
going? You talking about going like hard,
The top 10 strong are strong West Coast pioneers. You know,
right?
number 8 is Quick.
Quick, I can go with that.
And I'm gonna say Quick because Quick, you had AMG, you had Second to None,
Yeah.
Sugar Free. You had some nice production and work that came outside of him just being an artist.
What about?
And then his music, and then he went down, and then he went to the South and opened us up to Texas, opened us up to St. Louis. Yeah, remember they did that song?
Just
Yeah,
like Compton.
just like Compton. No, come on, man. He
Can I?
performed that all over the nation too.
Can we get a MCA for number 9 then?
Nah.
Oh, you cold blooded, man. You cold blooded, man.
Nah, because who all right, you know why?
Wow.
You know why? Because the Chicken Hawk. We ain't mentioned them yet.
This is your list. Hey, this is your list. I'm letting you do your list, right?
That's fine. I'll give number 9 to Mac 10.
All right, I'm gonna write down 9 for Mac 10. This is your list right here, and
That's fine. You want to jump off? You want to jump off board at number 8? And I'm good with that. I give number 9 to Mac 10. That's where I stand. He has to be on the top 10.
Hey, hold on. I don't agree, but I like your list though. I don't fully agree, but I like your list. I ain't gonna lie.
And you got to understand, okay, Mac 10 was on the radio. He had videos. He was getting played nationally. I remember listening to his music in Minnesota, seeing his videos out there in Minnesota on the box.
I like his entrepreneur.
You know?
I like his entrepreneurism, my nigga. Like I like how.
But you got to think like all
hold on. Q put him on. Then right after that, he started his own label. They got big. He started signing all of these artists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Who banging?
Yep.
Right.
And he went from that into the lowrider culture. He brought the lowrider culture into.
But you left out a major step in between that. When Who Banging was birthed through Cash Money.
Yep.
But when Cash Money birthed that, helped him birth Who Banging, he helped Cash Money expand out more coming to the West and beyond the West. You know, there was already out in the West. We listened to Cash Money, but when Mac 10 kind of formed that alliance with him, it strengthened that. It strengthened everything for as far as West Coast went and Cash Money. So I say Mac 10. And then listen, man, everybody we listen so far that's on the list, they've been on the radio. They had radio play with their music.
Right.
So we mentioned people like MC. MC didn't get no radio play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ice-T didn't get no radio play. No, just being real. Ice-T didn't get no radio play. MC didn't get no radio play.
That's just because of the content of the music, though. You know what I mean?
That's on them. That's their artistry, right? I'm not knocking that, but that's some artists. Every artist saying radio artist, right? But does it make a difference?
I'm not knocking what you got so far. I like it.
And then I say number 10. I'll say number 10, The Game.
The Game over Ice-T.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna knock you. This is your list. All right. All right. The Game. All right. Hold on. What's that other pen that? All right. The Game. Now I like it so far. I ain't gonna lie.
And I'm gonna tell you why I ain't got Kendrick on the list.
Wow, you gonna piss a lot of people off, bro.
Because he's not the pioneer of the West.
You about to piss a lot of people off.
He's not the pioneer of the West.
You about to piss a lot of people off with this list.
You know, it's like when people compare LeBron to Jordan. You can't compare the two. That's oxymoron. Listen, man, they weren't in the same game at the same damn time. So you might find a throwback picture of the Game in Pac, because he was at that age where he could have been a shorty, a little nigga, rubbing shoulders with Pac. Kendrick, when he wasn't born, he was just being born. He wouldn't have been aware of no shoulders with Pac. It's just that's what I'm saying. You can't compare apples and oranges like LeBron and Jordan. Way two different times. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, I feel you because you're my partner. You know that.
No, I don't do that because of that, man. Don't do this being biased, bro. Don't be biased. Don't do that.
Biased. I feel you.
No, that is though. That is. Just don't be biased. That's being biased, bro. Don't do it because I'm your partner. I'm just saying, like, on some real shit, on some real 1000 shit, bro.
I'm just saying that I don't disagree with anything you say because I just like West Coast music. You know what I'm saying? And that's your list. Mine is gonna be totally different. You know what I'm saying? I thought we were doing it together.
But you just put the Hollywood Shuffle on me. You put the Hollywood Shuffle on me.
Hold on, everything that I said, you kind of went against it. So I just said, you know what? I'll let you do this list.
No, you said we could debate it, and so no, you should have just said nah, because I shifted a couple ones for you. Because if not, that list I sent you would have been the list that we would be talking about right now. I can't put up on my phone because I got it on the phone right now. Hold on, let me see something, man. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick, man. Let me see if I could do this, man.
I'm gonna see if I can pull it up too. Hold on. Let's see.
All right, you hear me?
I hear you.
Huh?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
I should have did this before we even started talking, man. I just spoke out of turn. Check this out, man. The list got all messed up. You know who was number one?
Easy.
Nope.
Right. Oh,
Ice Cube. That's what all got messed up, man. The whole when we shifted it shifted everything. Ice Cube was 1, Pac was 2, and Easy was 3. Snoop was 4, No, Dr. Dre was 4, Snoop was
Uh-huh.
5, Short was 6, E40 was 7.
I see. I liked
DJ
that
Quick.
list.
This was list earlier. DJ Quick was 7. Mac 10 was 8. The Game was 9.
Mm. That's almost like the one that we just
That's
said. It's almost, but just a couple of people have been changed. You know what I mean?
yeah. So that would put Cube at 1, Pac at 2, Easy at 3, Dre at 5. I mean at 4, Snoop at 5, Too Short at 6, E40 at 7.
All right, so I'm gonna scrap that list we got. We're gonna start over. Fuck it. Let's start over. All right. So who do we got at 1? Who do you want at 1?
Well, originally we talked about earlier, man. I think that I like to always usually go with my first thought, which was Ice Cube for 1.
All right. We'll say Cube for 1.
We talked about it was a reason behind that because we went back and forth just now for about 20.
Well, we was talking about legacy wise and the NWA tree and who was the writer on the NWA tree and who had the best diss song against NWA. He pretty much took on NWA, the whole group by itself. You know what I mean?
And we gave AZ too because he really had the best diss song on a crew for that time.
Who?
Easy.
Yeah. But I don't think it was messing with Cube though.
No, because Cube was a solo. Eazy wasn't.
No, Cube went against the whole NWA though. He talked about Easy.
Yeah, but he did it by himself. Easy didn't do it by himself.
Yeah, but
think about that.
You don't think that he get points for going against the whole NWA by himself?
No, he do, but that's why it's in a separate category because of that. That's why he got 1. That's why he got 1 and not 2.
Some people would say he won that war against Ice Cube versus the whole NWA.
No, he did, but that's why he got number 1 and not number 2. But this is why Eazy got number 2 and not number 3 is because he did the coldest going against a crew with a crew diss song.
All right, so we're gonna start.
You know what I'm saying? Right? Which was real Compton City G's.
Yeah, right. You're right. All right, so we're gonna start over. We're gonna say Ice Cube at number 1.
Yep.
All right, Cube at number 1. All right, so who we got for number 2 from your list?
That's the list we did earlier. Was Pac.
Cube.
Yep.
Pac. All right, we'll say Pac for number 2. Pac for number 2. All right.
Easy.
All right, so give me let's hear why let's talk about why we think Pac is number 2. I would say that resume wise he beats everybody by yards. He had more songs that everybody liked. East Coast, West Coast, everybody. People still singing his music. He still got up until a couple of years ago, he still had songs that were coming out. You know what I'm saying? That were like fresh songs and shit. And
right.
And he died a martyr, man. And he led the East Coast West Coast war. You know what I'm saying? So I can agree with Pac being number 2. So all right, who we got for number 1?
What he said, Q for the. You not talking about number 3?
Yeah, I mean number 3. Yeah, my bad.
Easy.
All right, Easy number 3. That sounds good. Easy. All right. So why do you? What would be your reason for putting Easy at number 3? Just not saying that I agree with you, just for context reasons. You know what I mean? Just
Well,
just for content.
outside of him creating NWA,
Mm-hmm.
right? For artists to have not that much work and it still gets used in today's time, and the artists that he functioned with or he create or founded,
Yeah.
right? Discovered, let's just say discovered, are still around and relevant and stay relevant after he passed, which was Bone Thugs and Harmony. I say based off of that is why. You know what I mean? Like what was that song that Kendrick did, man? It was him, Metro Boomin, and Future. That's the first diss song they did on Drake.
I know what you're talking about, but he had the Eazy-E sample in it.
There's the Eazy-E sample and the Rodney O. Joe Cooley sample. Well,
damn.
And it's relevant. It was still relevant. That sample from the day that song was a hit, because it was one of Eazy-E's hits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I can agree with that.
I'll say because of that, man. It's a lot. Eazy-E's still going on in music right now today, man. He's still being talked about. They just did Straight Outta Compton not too many years ago. So I say that he's still relevant.
I would say that.
So I say that's why he's E3, man. Snoop we have for number 4.
Yep. Let's talk about what you like Snoop at 4. I would say again, because of his legacy, his catalog, what he's done for the West Coast, and him being signed to Death Row, and then it's like a boomerang coming back around. Then he turns around and buys Death Row. You know what I mean? And what he did with the football teams for the community. You know what I'm saying? For the kids and stuff. He did so much for the West Coast.
I'm gonna be biased on this one. I'm gonna say, Snoop's a Libra. I'm a Libra. Libra gang. So off the back, I'm gonna give him that, man. Nah, on some real shit, it's because of the body of work, man. The work he's done then to the work he's doing now. On the low, Snoop is still active, man. He really ain't stopped working.
Hell no,
he got a ton of music out there, man. He puts out an album every couple of years. So I'm saying he stayed relevant. Matter of fact, Snoop is actually right now, he's the most influential and popular rap artist right now.
More than Kendrick. I can agree with that.
That might be why they had him part of the Olympics and some other stuff he's been doing.
That goes a long ways. Yep, I definitely agree with that. All right, so who we got for number 5? I definitely agree with that. With Snoop being number 4, you know what I mean, and I gotta take my hat off to Snoop for that one, man. You know what I mean, because he's done a lot for the West, for sure.
Right.
How many summers did we ride around bumping Snoop? I can't even count. I can't even count how many.
Time spent. You know what I mean?
Yep.
In Doggy Style, man, that was there ain't been no quality album like that on the West Coast since then. As far as that high quality.
That nigga Dre took his shoes off and stuck in that motherfucker, bro. He fucking he dropped.
Because at that time when that dropped, bro, everybody had a system when they whip.
Yeah.
We wasn't even driving, but our peoples that was driving, our peers, some of our peers were driving.
I was bumping that shit in the Walkman.
Right. That's what I'm saying. We weren't even driving, but our peers were like couple cats around.
And then years later, when we started driving, we had to run it back. We had to run.
Yeah, that was the first thing was bumping, bro. You know what I mean? But it sounded good in the system. It was high quality.
And I wanna give a shout out to my brother, man, because he used to bump the shit out of Snoop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Rest in peace. Yeah.
He used to bump that shit all the time, man. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but so I'll say Snoop for that, man. But for number 5, I had to say Dre, man.
Dre for sure.
Yep.
I agree with that. All right. Let's talk about why. I'm gonna say that Dre, he changed the sound. He changed the sound from that. like the all right, at first West Coast was known for the Roger and Zapp samples and you know and the funkadelic samples and shit, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
he changed it to a better sound to me. I believe that like the sound that he made, like everybody kind of agreed with it, you know what I mean? Um like it was the soundtrack for damn near for summers after after he after he put out his albums, you know what I mean? And I believe that Dr. Dre is just a professionalist, man. Like I've heard people that he worked with say that Dre would have him go in the studio and do a verse 28, 30 times before they got it right, man. So that shows that he's a professionalist, man, and he likes things his way. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, that's gonna be my reason. What's your reason for choosing Dre?
Man, Dre raised the bar, man, on the quality, man, for like the sound of the West Coast and a lot of other music outside the West Coast.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, and the body of work, man. Well, I ain't gonna say like he did a lot of work because he really didn't. It was just the work that was being put out under Dre,
Under
you
his name,
know,
yeah,
under
right,
his name, man. You know, your 50s, your
yeah,
Eminems, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
That's what I mean by that, but not necessarily the sound. The
Exhibit,
only thing the only thing because for a minute he was known for the drums, right?
right, right.
Everybody's like, man, Dre got a certain sound with the drums.
They
And
they said
then
they said he had like the cleanest drums, you know what I mean, and
right,
the cleanest samples too, you know what I mean.
right. And then you start hearing other bodies of work that he was behind, like Eminem, uh
Remember? Oh,
50.
you remember he did that
Um,
album. He did that album with those with the New York artists. Um, damn, what was them niggas called, man? Fern. Remember he did their
yeah,
album,
yeah,
and I don't think they
yeah.
sold a whole lot of albums, but the sound was spectacular. You know what I mean?
And
It
then
was.
the game, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't the production at that point in time. It was maybe the music, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's the music that came after. You know, that's why it's called Aftermath. I guess I want to say, bro.
Right.
This is all pre after Death Row. I mean, Dre didn't do a lot of music production wise on Death Row, but far as quality wise,
We ain't gonna talk about that. That's like political type stuff. You know what I mean?
no,
So
no. But I'm saying whatever far as like the quality wise though, it was
right.
um it was with Doggy Style, man.
I
That was
would
a
think.
high clarity album.
What do you think about this? They would say that after Dre produced the Doggy Style and the Chronic, that it changed. It sent all the other producers back to the drawing board as far as how to produce. You know what I'm saying? It like changed the whole style of like the West Coast, as far as production wise. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
made
yeah,
people
because of
change
the quality, because of the
the
quality.
quality, the quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For sure. All right, so who do we got? Who do we got for number six?
For number 6, we got a Short Dog.
Perfect, perfect. All right, all right. Now this is what I think. I think the Short Dog. What I liked about Short Dog is, all right, in Oakland they did no, they had the independent thing going. No, set out the trunk. You know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
and I like the way the Too Short put his bar together. Some people would say that it's pretty simple, but I like it. And he always stuck to his little player style. He never tried to change the style up. It was always player, 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 and that's it.
Right.
And his the way he put the music together too, man. It's always live bands and stuff. You know what I mean? And I always liked it, bro. He always had um, he always had live instrumentation in his music, and he never tried to change up. You know what I'm saying? And No, that's why I like. That's all. That's why I like the Too Short, man. What? How you feel about it?
I agree with you on that, man. Short Dog, man. You know, he came with the bass guitar. You know, old man's dad, man.
Hmm.
He played the bass guitar on Short's first album, dog. So it's like,
Yep.
and
That's
this was
history
later
right
on when
there.
we found this was later on when when motherfuckers found this shit out. But prior to that, I knew he was using a bass guitar. He was using live instrumentation in his
Yep.
earlier music, and it brought something different to our
To the
ears
West
as
Coast.
far as listening to rap. So, yeah, because we was listening to the same um turntables type sample beats, and it
Right.
wasn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
Uh, he brought a whole like a live band to the show. You know what I mean? It was different,
Right.
bro. And come
Right.
to find out, that's what he was using. He was using the band for it. You know, whether he sampled or not, he was sampling some live instrumentation, man.
Him.
Some real band.
Him. They. I forgot the name of the production crew, but they had Ant Banks. He was one of the producers. Shit. Who else was?
And he opened us up further to the Bay. We knew about the Bay
Right.
like Spice One uh and Sally Sail
Right. Right.
and
So I ain't going to even lie to you. Like I didn't really even know about the Bay till after I heard Short. I would hear
right,
Short, and then I would listen to some of the features on Short's album, and it would make me go like, "Damn, who was this?" No,
right.
who was Mouth? Who was Goldie? Remember Goldie was on this album.
Yeah,
Um,
it opened us up to like even finding out about, Sibo, Marvelous,
Debo,
just different. Yeah, I know
Tupac,
you remember Marvelous, but different cats that was in the Bay, and yeah, even
right?
Tupac, you know what I mean? So like it broadened us to our, our horizon as far as the Bay went, right?
Yep,
So
yep,
I respect Short for that.
right,
Um, but I gotta give my boy number 7, bro.
right. I agree
Charlie
with that.
Hustle, man. Charlie Hustle gotta get number 7.
Okay, E40. Hold on, let me write that down.
Well, that's what was on the list.
I
That's
agree.
not what this what we talked about earlier.
I agree with that.
E40 was 7.
All right, E40. All right, hold on. E40, number 7. All right, so what drove you to pit E40 at number 7? You hear me?
I'm here, bro. My bad. I hear you. Now I was
All right.
listening to E40 before I got off the block, man. Federal.
I'm gonna
Um,
say this, man. I'm gonna give you your props because I really didn't fuck with E40 that much until I heard you bumping it. You know what I'm saying? In the Cadillac
right,
back in the days, and my brother. I think you and my
right,
brother kind of like was up on that shit like early, and I was like
right.
into like the East Coast and the down south stuff,
Oh yeah, my
and
song was at Mr. Flamboyant. Yeah, E40 had some
right,
knockers, but then when I got to Minnesota, he just had dropped that Major Way. Oh, that
right,
killed it, man. We was off that man for a whole season.
yep, real talk, real talk. I like I said though, I would hear, I would hear you and my brother bumping that, man, and then I would kind of talk shit about it, but then Vernell would be like, "Oh, so you didn't like E40, huh? You show playing it now." You know what I mean? So, I became an E40 fan, man, because I like his slang, bro. I like like he has a whole bunch of different slang, different words. You know what I'm saying? And the
He's a
word,
ninja with them words. He's a ninja with them words, bro. He,
bro.
he came out with his own book with
Yep.
his own words in our time, bro.
Mm-hmm. Um,
I don't know if you remember that, but
and the
he got his
and
own book.
the beats were cool. The beats were always like up tempo, like kind of like the Thiz type music. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of I liked him, man. I like what he do. You know what I mean? And he always has a gang of features on this shit, bro. Like, and that's another thing. You remember back in the days when we would go to the warehouse, we would spend hours up at the warehouse, nigga, thumbing through CDs, thumbing through CDs and tapes and shit. And I would see like the E40 CDs, and I would just look on there to see what features he had. Look at the features, and then I would go to, you know what I'm saying, like go
Right.
look for that artist that would be like a feature that was on his CD, and I would go look for him. You know what I'm saying? There was always there was always, and there was always nice beats on this shit, man. So yeah, I can agree with E40 being number 7, bro.
And
So
then on the list earlier we had Quick as number 8.
Quick, yes sir, I can agree with Quick. Quick,
And you know,
I'm gonna tell you why I like Quick, man. I liked it Quick because the beats, man. He reminds me of your brother. He's one of those type of persons that he's one of those type of persons that experimented with beats, man. And I did a lot of, I listened to a lot of interviews with DJ Quick, right? And he said that like you know, a real producer, you know, like not a like a real producer, you know, not a person that records music or a beat maker. Oh, he said there's a difference between a beat maker and a producer. A producer is going to tell you how to lay the bars down, and a producer knows when he walks in a room, like he'll listen to the sounds in the room, the echoes, you know, like nah, this ain't the right room to record in. And that's what kind of like drove me to wanting to buy equipment and produce too. You know what I'm saying? So it let people know that producing ain't really as easy as people think, you know, but it's fun. You know what I'm saying? And the like the old school funk samples, you know, and even some of the features and some of the people that he messed with, like you said earlier, High C, that vertical joyride. What you know about that? You know what I'm saying? That High C, that vertical
my shit.
joyride.
That was my shit, AMG.
Yeah, AMG,
That was
Mossberg.
my shit.
He came out with Mossberg, and we kind of got a little connection to Mossberg because he was out here in Riverside and he was buying sacks from one of the
Yeah, that
homies.
was the homie. He used to come fuck with a nigga. Man, I met him. We met him through Jamon.
Their mind in them. Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, we kind of got a
the
connection
Calvin.
on him, you know, and not to mention he built Sugar Free. You know what I mean? Everybody can say that you know Sugar Free may have got better, maybe better than him as far as lyrics, but he would have been nowhere without DJ Quick. Not to mention DJ Quick was one of the first rappers that were like doing the banging on wax diss songs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And
Right.
he destroyed MC8 between that little battle between them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
What you like about DJ Quick?
man. I mean, right there, man. I mean, he, you know, see, Quick was a co-producer. He was a co-artist, but
Hmm.
his production was strong too. Because after he stopped putting out albums like that, man, so he birthed Sugar Free.
Hmm.
Uh, and that just took it to a whole nother level, man. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean,
Hey, what's the one the old school R&B group that worked with him for like it was like an old school R&B group. The light skinned niggas, they was all light skinned, man. DeBarge, he worked with the DeBarge brothers for like 2 of his albums. They did hooks on his albums and stuff, and they played instruments. They played keyboard. They played like keyboard on one of his songs. You know what I'm saying?
mhm. Yeah, I don't know
Um,
what songs that was, but yeah, the bars they had their hands in a lot of music. You know that family they was all musical, man. So
right,
all of the barges was doing music, man. The
and
one
it
that
was
stayed really
cold,
doing music was El DeBarge.
and it was
That's the
cold
one that I
too.
stayed following. Yeah, the one that died, that passed away was the coldest one, man.
Hmm.
That was a big brother, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
Chico, El DeBarge, and then
yeah. Chico was hard, bro.
right. Mhm.
Yeah, Chico, El DeBarge. I forgot the other one. And you had
It was
one of
it
the
was a big
sisters.
brother. Yeah, the sister, but the brother passed away earlier, man. I want to say Tommy DeBarge. Was it Tommy?
Yeah.
Well, it's the third DeBarge, man, the older brother, man. Bobby DeBarge.
Bobby.
That was his name, my bad. Not Tommy, Bobby. That was his name. Bobby was cold, man. He was real talented. You know, if you like follow anything that of the Elder Bar story online or wherever it's at, Elder Bar talks about that. He said, man, you know, he looked up to Bobby, man.
Yeah.
That's where he got a lot of his ideas from, his style from. It came from Bobby, man. He was cold, you know. But yeah, so yeah, DJ Quick for number 8. Then number 9, man, got to give it to I think we had on the list earlier was Game for number 9. Let me look again. Hold on. No, we skipping a whole one. We skipping 8. My bad. We had Nate Dogg for number 8.
We had Quick for 8.
No, check this out. I'm looking at the list. We had
40 for 7.
No, we had Quick for 8. Yeah, Nate Dogg was 9. You're right. Nate Dogg was 9.
Okay. Nate. All right, Nate Dogg. But Nate Dogg ain't a rapper though.
So we'll put him out of position. We'll just throw him out the equation, and we will throw in there. I had to throw Mac 10 in there as number 9, man. I have to, man. Cause I said he should be in the top 10, bro. I don't know what you think about that, man.
I
We got two more slots. We got 2 more slots, 9 and 10. And the game got to be in the top 10.
All right. I like Mac 10 because, like I said, man, he started off by being signed by Ice Cube, and immediately he started his own label, and he started signing artists. He eventually signed MC8. He signed the Conrads. He signed a bunch of artists, bro. Like he even came out with that movie with Fat Joe, man, Thicker Than Water. He did some stuff, man.
That soundtrack was a dope soundtrack. You ain't never lied.
That was a dope soundtrack, bro. Married to T. He ended up marrying T-Boz. He ended up marrying T-Boz. Yep, and she started doing a lot of hooks on the songs and shit, man. Like, yeah, she was cold. They were cold together, man. But yeah, that's my reason for liking Mac 10, man. And he is definitely one of the kings on the West Coast, bro. You know what I mean? I just hate that he didn't keep making music. You know what I'm saying? Well, he just put out some stuff after years. He put out that Red Gas and that Chevy. That he put out a song about what's it called? Chevy something. A song, some kind of song about Chevys or something like that.
And then we say Game for number 10. And we're going to seal it after that. Because check this out, man. I feel like this. Kendrick, Nipsey,
but look,
YG.
I'll say later we'll do from 10 to 20. Like on our next episode.
What I'm saying though, like, I feel like it's different generations, bro. You got Nipsey, Kendrick, YG. They belong to a different generation of the West Coast. They're not in the league of the pioneers.
Right now,
we're just doing
pioneers right now.
Yeah, the Game will be the youngest pioneer, I feel like, out the West Coast. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's really younger than all of them. But he was coming in as they was going out.
Right.
It's kind of like how Kobe came in when Jordan was going out. Kobe was coming into the league. Kane balled it up, 60-point games. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Doing things.
I love the Game music, man. He brought like a different style of rap to the West Coast. You know what I mean? He had those he had those 4-bar setups. You know what I'm saying? He was
right.
3-bar setups. You know what I'm saying? And he would try to stuff as much as he can into his bars and shit. And I would say that he changed a lot of people's ways of writing. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
yeah, he definitely should be on the list. You know what I'm saying? And what you think about the game?
Man, I think from the story of the game, man, from being in the hands of JT, then going to Dre,
Mm-hmm.
you have to recognize that, he was Dr. Dre's protege
Yep.
at some point in time.
He was like
You
Frankenstein
know,
for Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you know what I mean? So that was like his project, bro. So hearing him had you at the edge, okay, bam, what's he gonna come with next?
Right.
Just not to listen to it.
I believe.
Not just the production,
Uh-huh.
but the lyrics he was bringing. Because he's around the same age as us, bro. So like the
Yep.
lyrics, what's he gonna bring to Dre's? What Dre's bringing to the table? Because at that time, Dre kind of changed up his production. He wasn't doing the same Death Row or production. He was doing a whole different line of production at that time. And that's post Eminem. So the production totally shifted. And then
Yes.
now he's dealing with a West Coast artist. Okay, what he's coming with now. He went to Detroit with the sound.
Yep.
Now he's bringing it back west. So the game was interesting to hear his music at that time. That's why I have to give
Mm-hmm.
it to the game, because the game came in when Dre was going out.
And he started the Black Wall Street movement, and they
Right.
ran the mixtape game for a minute. Between him and
Right.
50 Cent, and
Right.
who else? You had a couple of other people, but we're just gonna talk about the game right now. He kind of ran the mixtape movement for a minute, man. He did his thing, man. Um yeah, he did his thing, bro. I gotta give it to him. Hey, can you see the comments?
I gotta go to chat. I gotta go to the chat box. Let me see.
We got comments in there, man.
So 1, 2, Tupac. Somebody said they like the list so far.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, okay. Classic Hustle, Too Short, Chop. All right.
All right, so look, I say we'll close it out on the 10, those 10 right there. But those are like the legends. Those are the legends. Then after for the next live, we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty, with the other ones, because there's a
Well,
lot of people.
the thing is, bro. I think that the list. I think this was where people keep getting it mixed up at, bro. You can't mix apple with oranges, man.
Mm-hmm.
These artists that these top 10 we just mentioned, per se, even if they're around now, they weren't in the game. The artists that's now weren't in the game where they were in the game at the highest point of their career,
Right.
at the top of their pinnacle. Like, okay, Snoop may still be around and active, but you can't compare Snoop to Kendrick, what he's doing, because Snoop ain't at the top of his pinnacle. Now, if you would have caught Snoop back about so many years ago, 10, 20 years ago, then that would be a different conversation with him and Kendrick.
Right.
But then Kendrick wasn't, he wasn't even around, nowhere near around at that time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, the earliest cast like Kendrick could go back to, bro, is maybe like MySpace days. And by that time, a lot of the West Coast music has shifted.
Mm-hmm.
It was in down south hands. When MySpace was born, the music wasn't on the West no more, it was in the South.
Right.
Think about it.
Atlanta had
Yeah,
that shit.
we going to like the mid 2000s, you dig?
Mm-hmm.
That was in the South at that time. 04, 05, 06, 07, 08, 09, 2010. That shit was in the South, bro.
Right.
Then continue to be in the South. Just think about the run. The South didn't have a long run now. When you line it up like that,
man, they still got it.
They still got it, bro.
But you know why they got it? Still because they didn't go against each other and they didn't mind sharing. Like some of the artists that had beef over there, they were still like, all right, look, we got beef, but let's get this music out the way first. We'll handle that beef later. and they would get in the studio. Even if they did have beef, they would still get in the studio and get something going. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and that's why they got it, man. Because shit, man, they put out a body. They put major bodies of work out. You got niggas like Ti, man, the Migos, fuck, man, Travis Scott. Is Travis Scott from over there too? Fuck, man, yeah,
Travis Scott, I think he's from Houston, right? Texas.
yeah, uh, yeah, he is. He is right. For Atlanta artists, you had the whole YSL crew, um, the YFN with Lucci. You had a lot of brothers over there, man, that was putting in work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, and then it started before them because you got Goody Mob,
Goody
Outkast.
Mob, yep, Outkast,
Um,
for the
this
Dungeon
before
family.
the Dungeon Found. This before Ti, man. And then who
Right,
else was from
right.
coming out there, man? As a group,
Shit,
UGK. Well, no,
UGK,
UGK, they Texas, but they
Texas.
were still around. They were
Right,
still a force at that time.
right. And they did a lot of production for Atlanta artists too back then.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah, man. Definitely had it going,
You,
bro.
you throw Memphis in there. You mentioned triple six.
You,
Bum. Yeah,
A
yeah.
ball, A ball, and MJG.
MJG. Up. No
Fucking
bullshit.
what's the girl that died, man? From what was the girl
Was
name
that
that
not
died,
Shauna?
man?
What
From
was her
out
name?
there.
What was her
Shit, she
name?
died, man. She overdosed. Shit, man. I can't think of her name. No, it wasn't Trina.
It wasn't Shauna. What was her name? She was part of triple six.
Man, I can't think of her name. Yeah, but everybody knows. Somebody in the comments, man. If y'all know who we talking about, man, drop it in the comments. But yeah, she was hard. Then you had country. What was his name? Country Black or
The Country Black.
Crunchy Black. They had a movement over there, bro. And then they had it for years. You remember riding around the metro, bumping that bumping that 666 back in the day.
Yep.
I damn near burned up a CD, nigga, playing that shit over and over again in the metro parking lot, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. That shit was popping, man. Good times, bro. Good times. And that's what I say, man. When I say like the soundtrack to our summers and shit, like we can't even think of like years, but we can think of like the music that we listened to in that time period. You know what I'm saying?
Tell us the year we was in, right?
Right. So yeah, man, like music is very important to us, man, because shit. But yeah, so look, that's that top 10, bro. We gonna close it out right there, man. Hey, give your handles, bro, so everybody can know where to find you at. I'm pretty sure they know it.
Yeah. REAL. No, yeah, REAL on REEL radio. Real on Real Radio. That's how you're gonna find it.
Right.
And you know what? Let me tell you something, man. That list right here that we put together, that's the pioneer, the top 10 pioneer of the West.
I dare somebody to you know what I mean, you niggas want competition. I dare somebody to,
No,
to
I
try
just had
to
to stress that, bro, because people be like, man, they didn't include Kendrick. Nah, because I wouldn't say he's not a pioneer of the West.
Not yet. He need more time.
No, the pioneers are pioneers. That's set in stone, like Mount Rushmore. I think that's why they did that album.
But look, this week I think we're gonna this week we'll do after the pioneers. You know what I'm saying? The people that came after the pioneers. This is set in stone right here. This 10. You know what I'm saying? So now we'll start after this. We'll do what came after these pioneers. You know what I'm saying?
Like Snoop Dogg, for instance, man. He just was in the NFL, blow the whistle. How many years ago was that song made? and it's still
Man,
current in different
right,
events right now.
right. Try to get a song playing in the field that inspired the Super Bowl. Good luck.
Right.
Good luck on that, man.
Yeah, but yeah, all right, man. Being one man, we'll get with each other, man.
Somebody they liking this in the comments, bro.
Somebody said the South part this was fire. The
Yes,
South
sir.
had it for years. Yeah, the South had it for years, man. I mean, they still got it. Really, when you look at it, the South
Hmm.
still got it.
Yeah, they
You know
do.
what I mean? The number, I would say, the
Metro
number
Boomin.
one artist right now is, I would say, Future, man, from the
Right,
South.
right. And then Kendrick gave him a nigga. Kendrick gave him a killer, nigga, with that one song when they were against Drake. What was the name of that song? Fucking I can't think of the name of the song, man. But yeah, Kendrick gave him a killer. The one with that Easy E sample.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
Future
Was,
said that he didn't know that he was gonna use that song as a diss towards Drake, man.
right, because he didn't want to get. He figured out at the end that he didn't want to be involved with that beef and shit, man. So he just kind of backed
No.
out. Him and what's the rapper name from North Carolina? He backed out of the beef too. He was Cole Cole.
J.
What's his
Cole.
name? J. Cole. Yeah, he
J.
backed out of
Cole.
it. Him and
Right.
Future backed out of the little beef. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah. But yeah, man, that's shit. That's our list, bro. Y'all come back this week. We're gonna drop. This like we said, this is our pioneers. After this, we're gonna go from 10 maybe down to 20, 25 or something
Yeah,
like that.
of the new school, because we can't. People gotta stop confusing the time, bro.
Right.
We gotta have an old school and a new school.
Right.
And we'll do a list for the leaders in the new school. That's all.
Right. So
Ain't nothing personal. You know what I mean?
no, this is shit. This is how we feel, nigga. And I would say, nigga, that we put enough time behind the wheels, listening to this type of music to say who we like, and you know what I mean. And nigga, I feel like nigga, we can, nigga, if that nigga, our list may be better than anybody else's. You know what I mean? If anybody want to try us, go ahead. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, we know. But yeah, this is it, man. We about to shut it down. My boy, y'all check him out, Real on Real Radio, man.
All right.
My boy be doing some hot shit over there, man. Y'all go check him out. And I am Awkward Beginnings, man. You know, the center of the West, man. We the West, you know, so come fuck with us, you know.
Right.
All right, y'all. All right.